What the hell? Where's this truck?
Devon! Cameron! Sorry I'm late. I had trouble finding this road. Then I had trouble driving on it. Did I catch you in the middle of some...
Where the hell is your truck?
Huh?
Look at my Jeep! I told you it was stuck, man!
Well, this is not the reunion I was expecting. I thought you just wanted a ride. Besides, even if I pulled you out, your Jeep's fucked. I can tell from here. Be nice, Dev. He's doing us a favor. Hey, Cam. Hey, Artie. I fell in the lake, so that's why I'm half naked right now. Oh, that's hilarious! Did you push him in, Dev? Already makes me feel like I'm back in college.
Oh my god!
Hey, will you guys go hunting? Can I join in before we head out?
Nope.
Why not?
Because we're done.
We can probably walk around a little before we go. He went on a really long drive.
What?
Devon sounds incredulous, and Cameron can understand why. But despite what the bear said moments ago, he still wanted to explore further. Cameron knows that once he leaves, he'll probably never come back to this place again. Dave. Did the two of you switch places or something? Anyway, I'm gonna agree with Cam. I gotta stretch my legs out a bit. Devon looks down at Cameron, apparently at a loss for words. Cameron can't meet his gaze, so he looks down the road toward Echo, toward the place that he's positive has more answers to all his questions. He needs this. Devon sighs as he watches Artie squat down behind his Jeep, examining the wheels balanced above the cracked and dusty asphalt. Shit! How'd you manage to do this? It looks like you literally drove off the road. Devon sighs deeply as he stands next to Cameron, practically fantasizing about getting into the beat-up sedan and escaping this hellish town. They're so close to getting out of here, and the bear just wishes he could pick them both up and toss them into the car. Sure, he technically could do that if he wanted to, but that obviously isn't a reality. He just knows that going against Cameron's wishes right now would be devastating to the coyote and the relationship. All he can do is ride this out and hope that they'll be on their way within an hour. Devon notices the silence after Artie's question, and the cat is looking up expectantly. Not wanting Cameron to be put on the spot, the bear clears his throat.
We thought we saw something on the road and swerved. It was probably just a boulder or something.
Artie looks back at the road where there definitely isn't a boulder. Dev sees Cameron rub an arm self-consciously out of the corner of his eye.
It was in the middle of the night, so, shadows and shit.
Hard to imagine you overacting like that, Dev. Glad you guys are okay, though. Must have been rough looking at how deep the tires went.
It was. Hey, how long do you need to recharge for the drive? I can take the wheel if you're too worn out.
Yeah, right, after you crashed your own car?
It was in the middle of the night!
Hey, I'm just playing, dude, chill. Artie raises a brow at the bear, glancing at Cameron. You guys alright? Kinda feels like I walked in on a fight or something. Dev massages above his eyes with a thumb and middle finger.
No, I'm just really tired, man. We were up most of the night.
Artie then looks to Cameron, waiting for a response from the coyote. Dev tries not to bristle at the implication that Cameron might have a different response. Yeah. We're just tired. I think walking around a little bit would do us all some good. Oh, yeah! The last time I went ghost hunting with Dev, it was real spooky. Even though we didn't see anything. On one of my top 10 highs. In fact...
Eyes?
Artie jogs back to his car. I got some oil cartridges from the dispensary on the way here. You guys want to hit? Dev's stomach turns as he watches Artie grab a vape pen from the passenger seat.
No, we're good, man. I didn't know if it's a good idea for you to do that and drive anyway. Are you high right now, actually?
No. And I'll have come down by the time we're done looking around. Devon can't manage to say anything more before Artie takes a deep, long pull from the pen, a red light on the tip pulsing to life in time with his intake of breath. How do you know I'm good? How do you know I'm good? How do you know I'm good? Devon can't manage to say anything more before Artie takes a... Oh, wait. How do you know I'm good? Cameron's voice is so low, Dev almost doesn't hear it.
What was that, honey?
You just said we're good without even asking me.
No.
Dev doesn't know what to say anymore because Cameron just doesn't do drugs. The coyote would even joke that he's a straight edge.
I just thought...
Dev struggles for words as Artie looks at Cameron, then Devon, then back again as he continues to hold in the vapor he inhaled. Anyways, I don't mind taking a hit if that's okay with you, Artie. Artie exhales loudly and holds out the pen to Cameron. Yeah, of course, dude. Dev stares incredulously, the disbelief building until he can't hold it back.
Cameron, what are you doing?
Artie looks at Dev with wide eyes, but Cameron only spares him a glance before plucking the pen from Artie's paw and taking a deep pull from it. Dev stares at the pulsing red light, then at Cameron's face, whose eyes are closed. Dev can't tell what Cameron's thinking right now, but whatever it is, Devon knows this isn't the behavior of the coyote he's gotten to know over the years. It's juvenile, and Cameron is usually more mature than the bear when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, I'll just play along like everything's fine between you two. Either way, maybe we should just go? Dev feels his chest loosen a bit with relief at hearing those words, at hearing some sense from someone other than himself. But Cameron frowns and opens his mouth. Instead of words, he begins to cough explosively into his elbow, seemingly unable to catch his breath.
Hey, you alright?
Dev walks over to Cameron, rubbing his back. Yeah, that's normal. Especially with a biggie like that. You under your weed pretty good?
He doesn't smoke weed, dude. That's why I assumed.
I smoked plenty back in high school. Never had one of these, though. Cameron seems to be catching his breath, finally. That's harsh as fuck. Like worse than a blunt. You'll get used to it. Besides, you only need to hit it a few times to get high. Should I take another, then?
No, you shouldn't.
Cameron narrows his eyes at Dev. Why are you acting like this, Dev? It's just marijuana. I never complain when you drink.
Because this isn't like you at all, Cameron.
Dev had been holding the conversation back from becoming personal, if only because Artie is here. But at this point, he can't stop himself. He's starting to wonder if all this goes deeper than he'd like to think. In the awkward silence that follows, Artie quietly takes the pen from Cameron. Well, I think one hit is good for now. Especially if this is your first time smoking in a while. Let's see how you feel in 20 minutes. He pauses and tilts the pen in his paw toward Devon. You sure you're good? I know we only got high together a few times, but I don't want you to feel left out.
No, it's not my thing.
Devon looks at Cameron.
You told me back in college that it wasn't your thing either. That's the only reason I said we were good. Sorry, man.
No problem. It's just been a while, so why not have a go, right? Dev sighs loudly and folds his arms, shaking his head in resignation.
I guess so.
Artie quietly takes another hit off the pen before tossing it back into the car. If it makes you feel better. Artie puffs out his cheeks as he lets out his breath. Shit's a lot safer than alcohol. Or most any drug, really.
Oh, spare me, dude. I'm not in the mood for stoner talk right now.
It's true. I think it's physically impossible to overdose on it.
That's not the point, Cam. It's more mentally fucky, you know?
Artie shrugs. Depends on the person. I think Cameron's old enough to know what's good for him. Artie keeps his tone light, but Devon feels himself actually bristle at that. It's like he's being made out to be a controlling boyfriend, so the bear just looks away in frustration. It doesn't matter what the cat thinks. While Artie was a good friend in college, he didn't know all that much about Devon and Cameron's relationship, or Cameron's past. The bear knows his coyote, and this isn't like Cameron at all. He just hopes that whatever it is that's going on with his boyfriend will stop when they leave the town. Cameron stares across the lake, noticing how the light blue of the water almost perfectly reflects the blue of the sky. Is that why lakes are blue? Because they're just a reflection of what's above? And that's why it becomes dark and murky when the weather is cloudy? Oh shit. That's crazy. This seemingly profound realization is what makes Cameron suddenly realize that he's very, very high. At first, Cameron finds it funny, and he laughs out loud, only to stumble over nothing as his limbs suddenly feel intensely heavy. Oh! What was funny suddenly becomes somewhat alarming, and the coyote's giggling dies away almost instantly. Cameron quickly walks back to the road where Devon and Artie are, trying not to look like his legs are both 50 pounds heavier. It doesn't help that his jeans are still a bit damp, the feeling of the soggy denim on his fur incredibly unpleasant. Just a minute ago, he'd walked to the shore to put his clothes back on, and everything had been fine. Now, he's in a different world. He leans back against the car, folding his arms, trying to ignore the intensifying gravity. Fuck! He's never been this high before. His 16-year-old self would be able to handle this, no problem. But the shroom trip he went through sometime during junior high had ruined most reality-distorting drugs for him. Even when he smoked the cheap, weak bud his friends provided through high school, he would still come close to freaking out. But he always had an oxy back in those days to calm himself down. Or at least whatever benzo he managed to steal from his mom's medicine cabinet. Now there's nothing between him and feeling like time and reality are completely fucked. Permanently fucked? Like how shrooms permanently fucked his sense of self? Can we do that? Stop. You stupid fucking idiot. Stop psyching yourself out and man the fuck up. Dev had been right, of course. What the fuck was he thinking? Well, he knows what it is he'd been thinking. While he'd made a fuss about Dev answering for him, in reality, it had been a spur-of-the-moment decision. Because when Artie offered the pen, he remembered that seeing things always became easier when he was high. It really wasn't a positive part of being high, but if he's going to be doing the psychic shit, maybe he should experiment more with it? He feels very different about it now. Weed seemed to be a good, harmless way to test his experiment 10 minutes ago. But now, Cameron is questioning if weed even triggered supernatural stuff for him in the first place. He was always on the other stuff whenever he smoked weed after all. Opioids, stimulants, dissociatives, and definitely hallucinogens like shrooms did the trick. But for obvious reasons, he's never going to try those things again. He just needs to relax and be aware if something happens. Oh yeah, he's blazed! Cameron opens his eyes, looking toward Artie in confusion.
Hey, you alright?
The coyote looks at the bear, still confused. What's wrong? I just asked you if you're feeling okay, and you were totally spaced out.
Artie, just stop freaking him out. Everything's fine, alright, Cameron?
I am fine. It's you acting like something's wrong that's freaking me out right now. We are kind of being buzzkills, Devon. You got any water? Let's get him a drink. Devon takes Cameron's paw.
Sorry. Well, let's get some water. Okay, honey?
Seeing Devon transition from frustrated to concerned immediately makes Cameron feel better. While he'd acted rebellious to somewhat disguise his intentions, he doesn't actually want the bear to be mad at him. He'll explain to Devon later why he did this if it actually ends up working. Just telling him right now, with Artie there, would be way too complicated for his brain right now. Drugs hold a lot of baggage for him, like they would for any former addict, and Cameron doesn't doubt that Dev is not pleased in the slightest with what he's doing right now. For now, he squeezes Devon's paw in his own and smiles as the bear squeezes back. Cameron giggles. Holy shit, I've never been this high before, and that was a single mouth hit. Oil cartridges are insane. Yeah, I swear it gets more potent every year. I'm not surprised it knocked you on your ass. Cameron vacantly watches Dev climb into the rear of the Jeep, grabbing their plastic bottles and one of the gallon jugs of water. How long is to come up? Am I gonna get more high? Only if you take another hit. You want to? Dev looks up from unpacking their food and water, biting his lip, but Cameron shakes his head. No, I'm good. Just wondering. So just relax. You'll start coming down within an hour. That sounds good. One time I did shrooms and I was stuck in it for 8 hours. It felt like forever. Like literally forever. No thanks. That shit freaks me out. I'm not into stuff that changes you for good, you know? Yeah, it definitely changed me, and not in a good way. I mean, some people change for the better, but others just kinda end up mentally fucked up. And that was me. No shit. What did it do? Just the idea that a few nasty tasting shrooms can just change your entire universe makes everything feel fake, I guess. Like, everything that makes us who we are, our brain signals or whatever, can be so easily manipulated. You realize nothing's real. And for my friends, that was something that actually motivated them to be better people. For me, I just cared less and less. The weed is making him open up about things he normally wouldn't, and the coyote isn't sure if that's a good thing. Sure, it opened up my mind, but no one ever tells you that you can't close it when you're done. You can't ever close it. I should have listened when they told me I needed to be in a good place for it to have a good impact on me. I wasn't in a good place at all. The stress of the past day, on top of remembering that traumatic event, makes Cameron's eyes well up. Probably also because of the weed. Hey dude, are you okay? Tears spill over, and now he's truly crying. Despite knowing it must look ridiculous, it feels meaningful and poignant. A good cry. It doesn't make it any less embarrassing. Devon, with an expression both worried and exasperated, pauses in his rummaging for water and food to rub Cameron's arm and kiss the side of his head. I'm sorry. I thought this would help me see ghosts. I didn't even know why I did this. I wasn't mad at you at all. Devon studies Cameron closely for a moment, and Cameron's blood runs cold at the thought that, for whatever reason, what he just said is fucked up enough to make Devon question why he's with the crazy canine in the first place. But Dev quickly goes on as if Cameron didn't say anything. Sit down and have some water, honey. He holds up a green plastic bottle filled with water, and Cameron drinks from it loudly.
And food.
Devon pushes a bag of jerky along with a box of cheese crackers toward Cameron. Why is Devon always so nice when he's such a dick? Thanks, Devon. I'm sorry I'm such a piece of shit.
What? Honey, where did that come from?
I know that's something you wouldn't say, but I'd rather you tell me when I'm being awful. I don't want to go back to the way I was. It's quiet for a moment. Wow. This got you that fucked up, huh?
That's all you gotta say, Artie?
Dev doesn't sound angry at Artie anymore, much to Cameron's relief. Just very tired. Still, this is all pretty standard stuff, especially when you got low tolerance. I'm not trying to be a dick when I say that I'm actually a little jealous. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cam, but it looks cathartic as hell.
You're not being a dick. Is this not a smart thing to say right now, Arturo?
Art's right. I feel really in touch with my feelings right now, and... Cameron absent-mindedly shoves a cracker into his muzzle and stops. The salty, savory flavor so satisfying, he has to use all of his focus to appreciate it. Fuck. That's good. Arturo laughs. Cameron shoves a strip of jerky that's lightly seasoned with hot sauce into his mouth, combining the flavors, and he moans again. Devon sighs in a defeated but accepting sort of way. That makes Cam feel even better. That even though he did something stupid, Devon seems to understand. Hey, let me in on some of that.
Alright, but eat slow. This food is for survival, not for your munchies.
We'll be out of here by noon. Dev, relax. Devon sighs as he leans up against the tailgate, covering his face with his paws, then grunts with annoyance as he has to move to let Artie by.
Trust me, I'm trying.
Seeming to disregard Devon's advice to take it slow, Artie starts cramming jerky into his muzzle, moaning like Cameron. Drugs are so much better when you're high versus like an actual meal, you know? Cameron doesn't know, but nods enthusiastically.
I can't believe this.
Devon's tone is one of actual disbelief. Arturo gazes lazily at Cameron. Is Devon being a fucking Nazi about everything new? Or have you been putting up with this for a while? It's weird after knowing how he acted in college. Cameron leans against the tailgate, smiling at Devon. I've been doing some dangerous shit during our investigation, and Devon's just trying to keep us safe. He's wonderful, and I love him. Devon looks at him and just gives him a small smile without saying anything. Oh? You gonna let me in on what's going on between you two? Because I think we can all admit that it's been super awkward so far. Hasn't it though? This must be fucking weird for you. They both laugh, and the obnoxious snorts that Cameron makes only makes him snort louder.
It's just not really something you need to know about. I know that sounds rude, but
I'm psychic. Dev's eyes widen, and Cameron doesn't help to feel the silence that follows. Like you can see the future, or... I can see ghosts, and maybe the future. I don't really know how it works. I'm just trying to figure it out. Cameron hadn't really given it much thought, but seeing the future seemed to be part of it. Dude, that's fucking awesome. Devon shifts around, and Cameron can tell he's not exactly happy about him talking to Artie about this. He has to wonder why. Shit, I think my aunt was super psychic.
Super psychic? As opposed to what? Sort of psychic?
She had like tarot cards and shit and told my half-siblings that they were up to shady shit, that the cartel was gonna disappear them. Well, did they get disappeared? I mean, one died after routine surgery, but the cartel wasn't involved, as far as I know. Haha! That's so sad. Sorry, I don't know why I laughed. It's cool, I get it. So, not really psychic, or at least not like himself. It feels wrong to him, but Cameron feels almost dismissive of anyone that doesn't see things like he does. He's different, in a good way, and for once, he feels like he can admit that. He had seen his friend's death a few months before it happened, and he'd had dreams that were so accurate to the future that it had seemed almost like deja vu. I want to go for a walk. Everything looks really neat right now. Nope. Let's go see some ghosts. Devon sighs heavily again, but helps Cameron down from the trunk, the coyote leaning against him as they start walking. At this point, Devon has resigned himself to the fact that Cameron is going to do what he wants, and all Devon can do is respect his decision. While Artie reminding him more than once that Cameron is an adult had been annoying, it's also true that Devon has no right to take that decision away from Cameron. Still, there is a part of him that's hurt that Cameron would disregard his own feelings on that matter. Especially after opening up to him by the lake. But Devon also disregarded Cameron's feelings when bringing him here, at least to an extent that the bear had thought was reasonable. Now, it seems like he's reaping what he sowed. Still, Devon remembers and brings up something that should keep them from venturing too far into the town.
We should only go as far as the motel. Cameron and I had a brush with some gun-toting redneck near the other side of town last night.
Oh, really? Cameron giggles. One yelled at us from really far away, and Devon ran so hard he got a gnarly cramp in his thigh.
And again, he had a shotgun. Doesn't that bother you guys? Artie?
Artie shrugs. I've had guys flash their guns at me on the road because I flipped them off. Every one of them is too chicken shit to shoot. And this was even when I flew the old Azul y Blanco on my car.
Well, lucky for you, people around here don't even know what that is. Now, if I were to mount a Sonoran flag on my Jeep while also flipping the bird. Anyway, I said we stick around this area, no further than the motel.
You should be more careful though, Artie. I swear I hear a road rage story every few months where someone gets shot. Honestly, Cam, if that's my fork in the road, I say let it happen. You gotta live. And if that involves getting shot on the freeway because you made fun of someone's driving, then so be it. Is it really a fork in the road if the other option is death?
Yeah? One of the roads just leads to a dead end? Or something. I don't know. High as hell right now.
I think the metaphor is more appropriate for longer term consequences, though. Devon just smirks at the meaningless banter about fork in the road metaphors that must seem so profound to them right now. You know, my mom always talks about her fork in the road being in the 5th grade, and that it led to her having a shitty life.
Seems kinda young to have a decision like that come up.
I think she just likes to be able to point at a moment everything went wrong. But anyway, they'd been hyping up the space shuttle launch for months, and she decided she was going to be an astronaut. She went to the public library for the first time in her life to check out books about astrophysics and stuff. Dev suddenly has a good idea of where this is going. Then, while the whole class was watching the liftoff live on TV, it exploded. And even though her teacher turned it off and went about the day like nothing happened, they all knew those astronauts were dead. It made her question all of her plans, and she drifted through life after that, not knowing what she wanted to be anymore. Damn. That's fucked up, man.
Do you know why that happened, by the way?
Cameron gives Dev a confused look, and so does Artie. Like they forgot he's even there. Why my mom didn't know what to do? It's because she watched clips of smiling, waving astronauts getting on the space shuttle that then exploded on TV, Devon. Devon sighs, realizing he needs to make things more clear for this high version of Cameron.
Oh, I mean why the space shuttle exploded.
Because rockets and fuel can cause explosions, right?
No? Well, yeah, but mainly...
Dev refocuses his train of thought.
It's because they didn't listen to their engineers. You know, the people that stand between you and a pancaked shopping mall, or a freeway bridge collapsing during rush hour, or an exploding space shuttle.
Dev raises his brows meaningfully at Cameron, though weirdly enough he realizes that he's mainly talking to himself.
Always listen to your engineers.
His half-assed attempt at making the conversation about listening to his advice quickly backfires, though. Well, if those engineers were like the ones at Pueblo, I'm willing to bet more people would have listened to them if they didn't act like such know-it-all pricks.
Someone's still sore from having to drop out of their major.
Fuck you two. Hey, come on guys, we're feeling good right now. You know, Artie, I've dated an engineer for 5 years now. They gotta talk you down to do their job. Cameron walks against Devon and playfully nudges him with a shoulder. Even though Cameron is playing along with what Devon started, hearing his boyfriend say that actually stings a little bit.
Babe, I don't talk down to you. I don't mean to, anyway.
Arturo makes a face, and Dev does his best to pretend like he doesn't see it. Hey, I'm just kidding. I agree with you. If people let disasters happen because they're too proud to listen to experts, then fuck them. Maybe if they had, my mom would be on the space station right now.
Maybe. Mistakes happen, though. They remind us to keep our guard up, because it always slips eventually, you know?
I think I do. Dev smiles, pleasantly surprised that Cameron seems to be heeding his advice to be careful.